All right, Pelicans fans. Well, looks like we have a upsetting Zion return, but at the end of the day, he still played very well. In his minutes tonight, he had 22 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals, and a highlight reel dunk that will look very nice with the purple unis in the court. Um, but overall, the Pels fall to the T Wolves 104-97. At one point in the third quarter, the Pelicans had built up a 8 point lead, and then unfortunately, by the end of the fourth, they were down 8, and it was a constant uphill battle from there. So during this live, I'm just going to cover some stats from the game, and then take give 3 takeaways. And if I have anybody in here, just chat about the game. Currently watching LSU dribble out right now against Missouri dribble out against LSU as LSU falls to 0-2 in SEC play right now, 83-67 final at this point. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to the game. The Pelicans game right here. Uh, Once again, there were periods of the game where I felt like the Pelicans had the momentum, had a lot of energy, but then that just kind of all fell apart pretty quickly on us. Especially when Zion came in and out of the game. When Zion came in, you saw a flux of energy come in on both sides of the ball. He was really bringing it on defense, so that was actually really great to see from Zion. Once again, like I said earlier in my video earlier today, that him being out there does show some buy-in. So people can say whatever they want about him not wanting to be in New Orleans, but if he didn't want to be here, he would not be playing in these games. Um, but so some stats from tonight. We have DeJounte Murray leading all Pelicans today. Probably his best game as a Pelican, without a doubt, with 29.6 assists and 6 steals on the night. And you could tell that he definitely had a connection with Zion while they were playing on the floor, both defensively and offensively, as they tag team for multiple steals. And they also worked very well in transition together, which is awesome considering that it is the first time they play together. Um, and then you had Jose throw in 13 points, and you also had Herb with 9. But unfortunately, that was the majority of the scoring for the Pelicans tonight, and it just wasn't enough. CJ went 1 for 15 tonight. Just a really bad night for CJ. Once another, not to keep referencing my video from earlier today, but I said that CJ is a great player and he was on a heater, but he is known to be streaky, especially within his Pelicans career. We'll go for a week where he's scoring 20 to 30, 40 points a night and then hit a wall, hit those 2, 3 days. And I do feel like it was a little bit to do with his legs tonight. As I looked at his shots were falling a little short. So it wasn't like he was getting a good jump shot out there. Um, so uh, Defensively, I thought the Pelicans actually did a good job after the first quarter with Anthony Edwards when it came to the 3 pointer. I thought Edwards was going to go crazy on us with the three after him knocking down, I think, 3 or 4 straight to start the game. Having, I think, 16 points at one point early in the first quarter. It kind of looked like one of those nights where he was going to score 50 easy on us tonight. But I think the Pelicans did a good job adjusting. Credit to Willie Green where credit is due, of getting the ball out of Anthony Edwards' hands and trying to let other players beat us. Unfortunately, Edwards still led all scores tonight. I think he had 30. Let me look at the stats here. I think Edwards finished with 32 points. So not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Still, for him, that's holding him at bay, keeping him at his average. The Pelicans were 12 of 41 from 3 point land. Really missed Trey tonight, in my opinion. Just not having that guy that's going to knock down 4 or 5, maybe 3, 4, 5 threes, especially when the spacing was there with Zion penetrating and DeJounte getting to the hole as often as they did. The Pelicans did have a lot of open looks, and that does show there with Murray having 6 assists and Zion also having 4. Both guys would have had a lot more assists if those shots would have failed. I need to look at the projected assist shots based off of open looks that were missed in this game. Misi did not have a great game tonight offensively. He finished with 9 rebounds, I think 5 offensive, 4 defensive rebounds. But he was going up against one of the better defensive centers in the NBA and a good rebounding center in Rudy Gobert. So he's a rook. He's learning. Those are the things that I look forward to. Look for him to get better after a night like tonight. And then it's also learning how to play with Zion as a rookie, how to clear space for him and doing those things, getting in the right spots and being ready to catch those passes when they come your way. I did see a glaring weakness after Misi goes out. There's definitely a fall off for the Pelicans. I think we've seen it all year. If we do move a player, I would like to see us bring in a solid backup center, maybe borderline starter type center for the Pelicans, because that is one position where we thought we were going to be pretty bad, and we're pretty bad at that position. Misi's been a great surprise, but he is not a starting center by any means. My 3 big takeaways from this game is Zion, first of all, brought energy, not just on the offensive side, but on the defensive side of the ball as well. It was very impressive to watch him move to the ball. It was really good, just really good to see him all over the court, moving around, blocking shots, guarding outside the perimeter, taking on Anthony Edwards, taking on Rudy Gobert, taking on guys that don't fit his skill set. But he did a great job of defending those type of guys and being very versatile on defense. He wasn't standing around on defense, and that was great to see. Him and Murray had a great connection. I guess I forgot to mention that I'll be sipping whiskey while I do these little lives. And then we had, I talked about it earlier. Another one of my key takeaways from tonight was Murray and Zion just having that connection. It seemed pretty natural for them playing together, even watching them in transition, knowing where each other's going to be. That's pretty awesome, just seeing that from those two guys, not having played together before, just having the off season together, and then both of them having injuries, keeping them separated and not playing together this year. It was really nice to see. And I feel like Murray is starting to finally find his home here in the Pelicans offense. You have to remember, new team, first game, out for over a month. Comes back, he has to find his groove again. Not only find his game again because he's coming back from injury, he has to find his game within this offense, within this system, with these players. And it's been a rotating door around him since he's been back. Zion's come in, Brandon Ingram's gone out. Trey Murphy has been in and out of the lineups. CJ McCollum just came back not too long ago either. So it's been a kind of a revolving door around them since he's been back himself. So it's actually really nice to see him starting to find his role with his team, and his defense has been pretty outstanding with the 6 steals tonight, and he was all over the floor making an impact and leading to more turnovers. I think he had more steals. I think he has more credit for more turnovers than what he gets credit for because he forced some situations that led to steals for other guys. And my last thing I saw from tonight's game is we need Trey. Trey needs to be healthy. We need him in this lineup. He's a key for us moving forward this season. We have, according to my calculations, to finish 500 for this year. We have 11 losses left. We're sitting at 12. Tonight puts us at 11. So if we want to finish 500 and have any shot at a play-in, we have 11 losses left. So that number is really small. So we're going to go ahead and hopefully that number counts down slow. But like I said, playoffs are going to take a lot. Going to take, I don't want to say a miracle, but it's going to take a lot for the Pelicans to make the playoffs or the play-in just in general. It's going to take some other teams losing and helping us get there. But we got to help ourselves and win the games that we need to win. Tonight was a team that's one game over 500 that will be chasing for that last playoff spot at some point. So we need to do a better job of winning these games. But unfortunately, the roster just wasn't there. So speaking of games, we need to win tomorrow night. Back end of back to back. I can't talk. Maybe had a little bit too much whiskey watching this game, but Portland's coming in 12-23. You can't pass up and get to the 10th spot without passing up the guy in front of you. So let's start chasing Portland, who sits at 13th in the West right now. Pelicans obviously are 15th. So we're chasing the Blazers. So let's go try to get a win tomorrow night. I guess the question is going to be: will Zion play the back end of a back-to-back? That's up in the air. I haven't heard anything one way or the other post game. I'm going to say no until I hear something different. I would assume coming off an injury, they're going to bring him back slow. And I'll preview that game tomorrow, closer to game time, when we know who's all going to be available. Hopefully, we can get Trey back, maybe if he's day to day, truly day to day. They did seem like at the end of the game tonight, Willie Green went with Jose Alvarado over CJ McCollum at the end. And like I said earlier, I felt like CJ's legs weren't there with him tonight. So hopefully that little bit of extra rest in the fourth quarter can help him tomorrow, because the Pelicans are going to need scoring tomorrow. Portland is young and athletic. And like I said, I'll preview that tomorrow before tip-off. But besides that, cheers. Go Pels. I'd say Zion's return was successful for him personally. He looked healthy, had a massive slam, but it just wasn't him and Murray were the only ones that really showed up and scored some put a good amount of points on the board. We needed more from CJ, and it just wasn't there tonight. But once again, go Pels, go Tigers, who dat, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Cheers.